You're now listening to Sound Talent Media. Check out more shows at soundtalentmedia.com.
Late night bites with friends? Already hard to beat. That first too hot bite of fries you couldn't wait for, followed by ice cold Pepsi. Now that hits different. Suddenly, the energy kicks back in, the night goes longer, and the laughs don't stop. Because Pepsi brings out more flavor, more fun, and more of the moment. Food deserves Pepsi. Grab a Pepsi Zero Sugar today.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the podcast. Thank you so much for tuning in, or thank you for tuning in if it's your first time. The sounds you're hearing underneath this intro are the last sounds that I heard before I left Chicago. Chicago left a lasting imprint on me. I can't believe I've never been there before. What a cool town. What a beautiful town. And what a bunch of rad people. Thank you to everybody at the Fretboard Summit. That's why I was there, for those that are wondering. And thank you to Jason for putting that on. I'm probably going to have him on to talk about what it's like running an event like that at some point. Jason from the Fretboard Journal, of course. But yeah, your boy was in Chicago for about a week, and I am exhausted, and I have a mountain of work to catch up on. But it was so rad talking to old friends, new friends, and a bunch of awesome people at the Fretboard Summit. And it was great to see Chicago. But you know what was really awesome? Before I did that, before I went out of town and flew on a jet plane, I talked to my boy, Dylan McKerchie from Dylan Talks Tone. Yes, it's been so long and so many things have changed for him. And he is like an OG content creator in the gear space. And we talk a lot about what's changed, what his day-to-day looks like, and it's a catch-up episode. I think you are going to enjoy this. We get into the weeds a little bit on the life of the content creator, so to speak, but that's not all we talk about. There's a lot more. It's a little bit of an unusual episode, but I really enjoy my chat with Dylan. I enjoy all my chats with Dylan, actually, and I enjoy his YouTube channel, so check that out as well. So, without further ado, let's get into it. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of the Tone Mob Podcast, the show about guitar stuff, occasionally, sometimes. I'm your host, Blake Weiland. With me today, I have returning and long overdue, the Dylan from Dylan Talks Tone. I say your name every week over on Chasing Tone, and so it's kind of funny that I've gotten so used to saying Dylan from Dylan Talks Tone, and now we're doing it in a more official capacity at long last.
Yeah, we did it once before, and I think it was you were having internet problems, and it was a crazy thing, and the video didn't work. We still did it, I think, but it was just all weird.
I feel like it's
been a while.
Pre-Riverside days, I think. Yep.
Probably.
Yep. And man, it might have even. I didn't check the date, but it might have even been like just around COVID, pre-COVID, or just post-COVID, somewhere in there.
I was gonna say I can't remember if I was on the road at that point or not. If I was back in Augusta, Georgia, or if I was still on the road at that point.
I think you were on the road, or maybe just getting off the road. Maybe.
Yeah, I think that's probably what it was. Yeah, because we were on the road for 2.5 years, and then ended up back here in Augusta. So
nice.
Yep.
Yeah, everything's different. You got this like very, cigar loungy vibe going on in your studio that I really like.
That is what I was going for.
Nice.
That's exactly what I was going for. In fact, the bar is where this is all here. So this is on the back side of it is where all the cocktails start. And then we've got I wanted that. I wanted that kind of, we've got guitars hanging here, and we've got, I'm a knife collector, so I've got some other stuff going over here, and I've got a Python over here, and so it's kind of a cozy little spot,
like an actual Python.
We have 3 of them. Yeah.
What, dude?
Yeah.
You couldn't do that on the road, so things have really changed.
Oh, dude, things have really changed. So we have a house, obviously. My daughter lives with us. My daughter works for me full time, winding pickups.
Oh, cool.
So there's 2 of us in the shop 5 days a week now. It's bonkers. We're really busy. My son got married. I have a 1-year-old grandson. Like, I mean, yeah, dude. I have a dog. I mean, everything has changed. Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
You went from the roaming, traveling lifestyle to like now you're like locked in.
Yeah, I still have a Sprinter van that I use to, I work a lot in Colorado and other places, but yeah, so we actually have a house and this is my home now. It's kind of weird, but I do love it. I do love having a kind of a home base for everything. Yeah.
So I know we're supposed to talk about guitar stuff, but we're mostly just going to be talking about you because that's what I like to talk about. I got to know about these pythons. So were you a reptile fan before you got the pythons, or how did this? People don't just wake up with these things typically.
So when I was a kid, I had snakes, and also my brother and sister-in-law have a bunch of snakes, or had a bunch of snakes, and I've always been super fascinated with them. I got one, and then it's inevitable. You get one, you end up getting another one, and then this one in here, he's about 4.5 feet long. A YouTube viewer, like a Patreon member, was like, "Hey, I need to rehome this snake." And so he gave it to me, and it's a very rare one. He's really cool, excellent temperament, really neat. So now I've got 3 of them. We have a bearded dragon in the dining room, 2 pythons in the dining room, and then we have in my office, right behind my webcam on my computer, we have a crested gecko.
Okay.
So we have a few little kind of things running around here. Not running around, hopefully, but yeah.
The bearded dragons, they feel like they just chill. I don't know if I've ever seen one move like hardly at all. Like there's a dude that brings one to my son's jiu-jitsu class, and he just sits on his shoulder the whole time. I'm like, is that thing gonna move?
That one, that's my daughter's, and she'll put it in her purse and go run errands and stuff.
Yeah. They seem to like it.
Yeah, he's pretty neat.
That's crazy. So you got to feed the pythons, like you feed them mice and stuff? How does that work?
Frozen rats, yeah. Well, you buy frozen rats and then feed them thawed. It depends on the size of the snake. This big one in here only eats like once a month.
Really?
And the other ones, they might eat twice a month. They're smaller. They're still kind of growing. But yeah, it's not often. But they're pretty neat.
That is cool. Yeah, in middle school, my science teacher had all kinds of stuff. You go into he had a fairly big science class, and there was like this glass case that kind of wrapped around the corner, and he kept an albino python in there, and it was big. Like, I know I was a lot smaller then, but I'm pretty sure that thing was around 6 feet at least.
Wow.
It was a big and thick, and it would just sit there, and some people couldn't handle being in his class. Like, my wife would never. She is terrified of snakes. She doesn't even like to hear the word snake.
Yeah, we have some friends that, like, I have literally considered getting rid of them because we have friends that just will not come to our house. And I hate that. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to have, but I love them so much, and we work around it. It's no big deal. But we do have some friends that are like, nope, not coming to your house. Or, I mean, I've had friends where we've taken a blanket and put them over the snakes while they were there just so they didn't, out of sight, out of mind kind of thing or whatever.
Yeah. So, yeah. That doesn't bother me. I think they're kind of cool, but
yeah, they're neat.
But I also am not a pet person in general, mostly because I just don't want to deal with it. But for those that do, my hat's off,
Yeah, I have a 2-year-old Weimaraner, and Leslie, my wife, has always wanted a Weimaraner, and so a couple years ago we got one. And
I don't even know what that is. What is that?
That's it's a big silver hunting dog. So it looks, he's 80 pounds. He's
whoa.
They're super slender. They have the little sport tail. It's not a nub, but it's about that long. We call it the sport nub, but it's a sport tail. And they were bred for hunting bears, but honestly, he's like a big cuddly thing. He's like the cuddliest dog ever. He doesn't know it, but he's getting fixed tomorrow. So that's going to be our drama for the week. But yeah, so.
Yeah. Gotta happen at some point.
Yeah, eventually.
Yeah. But yeah, look at this thing. So things are going good in the Dylan pickup world, I take it. Your daughter's full-time employed. You guys are cranking stuff out. You're still making a ton of content. That stuff, that hasn't really changed. You've been busy since I've known you, so that seems to just be picking up more and more.
Yeah, I think we've been, I've got a second channel now. We're doing 7 days a week on that channel. And we're doing 4 days a week on the big one. Mm-hmm. And our live streams on Thursday are always super fun because that's kind of community related. And then the Tuesday thing is a podcast that I actually upload to everything.
Yeah.
And then Monday is the normal, Monday's just the normal, how this thing kind of works, kind of stuff, technical stuff. Today it's a pickup comparison. It'll come out at like 4:00. So
that's a ton of work, man. That is insane. It's like when I tell people I do 3 podcasts a week, they're like, wow, that's a lot. And I'm like, oh man, it is. It feels like a lot to me, but I know people who do a lot more. And you're one of them.
It's a lot. It is a lot. Having Brianna here doing a lot of stuff in the shop has really helped. We have a tighter schedule for what we can handle and how we do it, and production wise. And so I'm in there the first half of the day. We're working together, cranking a bunch of stuff out. And then the second half of the day, she continues in there. And then I work on video stuff. That's kind of loosely how it works. Not always, but that's kind of loosely how it works. And we've been able to stay on top of it. And I'm a big quality of life person too. So as much as I am a workaholic, I care about my family. And like, I want, Leslie takes an afternoon off to go see the grandbaby every week. And Brianna takes an afternoon off every week to go see the grandbaby. So, her nephew. So we have him overnight once a week. And so I really care about the family stuff too. So trying to get this all sort of balanced so it works. But it seems to be working pretty good.
That's wild to me because like I feel like I'm pretty much at my limit, and the listeners will know this, but I recently took a new role at Stringjoy, which is weird to be like I got a job at my own company, but like I'm doing sales and stuff there and working directly with retailers and whatnot, and I am like I've always wondered. I know where my limit was from when I was getting started with all this stuff, because I was basically working 3.5 full-time jobs at the same time, and I knew that wasn't sustainable. Like but I had to do it to get to a point where I could leave the main job, and I never really wanted to go back to that. And so, but I have like slowly been adding stuff to the plate ever since then, and I've been telling everybody, I'm like, I don't know when I'm going to stop. Like, I feel like I have more capacity. I feel like I have a little more to do. And I found it. I found the limit. This is the limit where I can still be a present father and do all the stuff I need to do as far as content goes. And then this new role, I'm like, yep, I found it. This is it. I can't really do anything else.
It's funny that you say that, because the other day, I want to say it was Saturday afternoon. I'm sitting in the living room doing nothing. And I feel like I was pretty caught up on most everything. I mean, of course, there's stuff I could be doing. And I was literally like, and I told Leslie, my wife, I was like, I'm feeling this like anxiety, like I'm sitting here wasting time, like I need to be doing something because there's got to be something to do, but I don't really have anything to do, but I just feel this anxiety, like I just want to work. And she's like, go to the shooting range. Yeah. So that's what I did.
Nice.
So that's what I did. That's one of my hobbies, is to go to the shooting range. She's like, go to the shooting range and just because it helps me really just zone out. I just don't think about anything for a little while,
Yeah.
And I had to like escape my own brain, because you know how it is. You have so many things going all the time. It's like those spinning plates guys, that are like trying to keep and you think you have to keep going all the time, otherwise you're going to fail. And sometimes the break is is the important thing.
Yeah.
Mentally, mentally.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the gym for me. Like, And that's why I keep pushing myself there, because I found this a long time ago, but I really found it in the last like 5 years. When I'm really pushing my limit there, like, okay, we're going for a max squat or something, like, what I love about that is there is nothing else. There's nothing in that moment. You can't be worried about, oh, did I file that form? Did I contact that guy? Did I do this? Blah, blah, blah. No, that's all there is. And then when you're really going for a true max is the best, because like my coach was there and it was the first time I experienced the magic combo of the ammonia, the slap on the back, and the all right, everybody going like, my coach was like, dude, you were like gone, like a great white shark, like going to attack. Like I was like, I was not there. Like I barely remember it. But I do remember just like not having anything in my head for just a second. And I was like, oh man, that's nice. That is really nice.
my other two chill things are, it's funny because they're chores, but I wash the car once a week, and to just be in the yard, my car's black. So I really enjoy actually when it's done. So like, I love that. And then the other thing is cutting the grass. I've got a half acre, and a 0 turn, and I will just throw some that's when I do my podcast catch up, and just ride the mower around and just sort of escape for a little bit. And then the cold beer in the shower afterwards, you're like, oh man, this is right. Like that's, I love those times of the week because and you can come in here and I don't know how much you work from home anymore versus
100%
away from it.
Yeah.
Well, so you know what it's like also to walk through the room that you work in and go, oh, I need to, no, just leave it till Monday. You know what I mean? And so cutting the grass and washing the car just gets me out of piles of parts and, the UPS packages laying by the door and all that stuff that suck you back in.
Yep. Yeah, it's a unique set of problems that I heard people talk about back in the day, and I was like, oh, I wish I had that problem. And I agree. This is still preferable. Don't take any of this as complaints. This is just the reality of the situation. It's a little different than I thought. I didn't, this was like supposed to be my man cave, my hangout place where I go to get away from everything. And now this is kind of where everything is. I love it. Don't get me wrong, but it is weird to try to when you're constantly when it's easier to leave work at work when you physically leave work. It just is, because you're like, no, you're not there anymore. Well, I'll take care of that later because I'm not there.
Yeah, I think my wife has a full-time job. She works for a software company, and she works in her office in the other room. So my daughter, my wife, and me all work here. We're here 7 days a week, all the time together, and we all get along awesome. It's great. But it's just a difference. I think for those that would like be listening and being like, well, you don't have a real job and I have a real job. I think it's the same for everybody. It's the execution is different as far as work-life balance goes. That's I think that's the gist of it all is it's like, it doesn't matter where you work or what you're having to do. Striking that work-life balance is tough. But for me, it's probably one of the most important things because I'm such a workaholic and I don't want to neglect, my family or my dog or my grandson or my grass or, washing my car. And as much as I love playing guitar, I do play guitar, probably not as much as I should. And it's usually acoustic. It's not electric.
Oh.
So that I can still separate that. Because like electric guitars are work because I make pickups for a living. So for fun, I have a D18 and a D28 and a McPherson. And like, I like acoustic guitars because of that. It's just like a little separation for me.
Yeah. No, that makes sense. I've been playing acoustic more lately myself. I didn't even have a decent acoustic for years.
Really?
Years and years. Yeah, I had just kind of a junky one, and I would get excited when I'd go over to my dad's, who has several. I'm like, oh, cool, I get to play a nice acoustic guitar. And then I got one as a gift here a few years ago, and I find myself playing it all the time, but I never really thought about why. I thought maybe it was because, I'm a big metal and hardcore guy, and a lot of people know that, but I also love country music, and I've been kind of dipping my toes more in that world than I used to as far as consistency goes. I always liked it, but I've been listening to it a lot more frequently lately, and I thought maybe that was the reason. But maybe it's actually subconsciously what you're saying. Electric guitars are more work, even though I still love them and I get excited by electric guitars. I mean, Scott and I were texting pictures of vintage Fenders to each other this weekend. Like, it's not like I don't like them at all. I still get very excited by them. But maybe that's what it is. It's like the acoustic guitar just feels a little more relaxed and a little more out of my wheelhouse, maybe. This podcast is brought to you today by Chase Bliss Audio. Chase Bliss has been a massive supporter of this show for a very long time, and I absolutely love the stuff that Joel and the team produces over there. Since day one, Chase Bliss has been pushing the boundaries of what is possible in the Stomp Box format. They were started with the concept of digital brain analog heart, meaning you could take classic analog effects and control them in ways that made them something entirely new and previously impossible. And when they broke into the fully digital realm, Chase Bliss introduced the most mind-bending time-based delays and loopers and reverbs that you have ever seen or heard. Heard is more important. Chase Bliss products have unlocked new creative possibilities for artists all over the world, including this podcaster that you're hearing right now. So if you're feeling a little stale and you want to break out of the norm and you want to expand what's possible with your pedal board, check out Chase Bliss today at chasebliss.com and expand your horizons.
The perfect lunch combo. That first bite of your favorite sub, followed by ice-cold Pepsi. Add a couple of friends, and now that's next level. Suddenly, the laughs get louder, the stories keep flowing, and the food tastes better. Because Pepsi brings out more flavor, more fun, and more of the moment. Food deserves Pepsi. Grab a Pepsi Zero Sugar today.
This episode is brought to you by ChatGPT. Hey, it's Bill Simmons from the Bill Simmons Podcast. Have you guys heard about ChatGPT work? It's the new way to use ChatGPT for bigger multi-step projects. And when you need more than just answers, give ChatGPT work access to your apps and files, and it can create real work documents like spreadsheets, slides, and structured reports. Get started at chatgpt.com by selecting work mode, available on Plus and Pro plans.
I think the other thing, even on the whole guitar front, I've been buying stuff more for my personal collection and more for because I want it more than for work these days. I used to buy a lot of guitars for we should take this apart and put it back together for the channel and stuff. And we still do that. We're doing a series on finding good guitars, good inexpensive guitars that are a great value for, $400 or $500. Mm-hmm. So we're doing that, but that's kind of separate. What I buy for myself is stuff I want to keep forever and stuff I may not play it as much, but I love looking at it. I love holding it. I love sitting on the couch strumming it, not plugged in, just because I love it. So I'm trying to make sure that I still love this stuff, even though it is my job. Because that's another thing that can happen too. Like you can get, I don't want to deal with this because it's work. No, I love this.
Yeah, that's why we got into it in the first place, right? There's a million things you can do.
Yeah, I never want to lose that,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, 100%. So let me ask you this. This is something when you were talking about how many videos you were doing. I'm curious. Do you find that you do that because you want to do that many videos, or is it because it works better for your channel, or some combination of both? Like, what's the reason? Most people don't do that many videos, so I'm curious why you went down that path.
Okay, so in the beginning, it was a Monday video that was technical stuff, which is what we built the entire channel on.
Yes.
Then we added Thursday because I wanted the live stream. Leslie does it with me. There is something about a husband and wife team. We are actually friends. I love her. We get along. It is not fake. You know what I mean? There's something about that. I swear we have saved some guitar marriages. We get messages from people that are like, we lay in bed and watch your show together as a couple. And I'm like, that's really neat. You know, we've been doing it for like 8 years. And so the community part of that, you know, it doesn't get a ton of views, but it just feels like a community. And I liked that. And then that sort of grew into the podcast on Tuesdays because people wanted a podcast. They wanted something they could listen to in the car. And I'm like, all right, well, I'll just do it, you know? We throw some reviews on Wednesdays and Fridays sometimes. The second channel was a pure accident. Dylan Talks Tone 2 was a pure accident. I wanted a place that I could talk about stuff. Here's the problem with YouTube is, for me personally, is that once you have that formula for like 13 years, we've been doing it. Once you have that 3-day-a-week formula, if you step outside of that at all, not only does that video not do well, but it kills the rest of your vibe. So like if we were to say, like, you know, if you were to do something goofy like, you know, I'm just going to throw an editorial video in there on a Wednesday, it would completely mess everything else up.
Right.
And I felt like I just wanted a place that I could talk about stuff that I thought was important and not mess up the rest of what I had going. So we started Dylan Talks Tone 2, and literally I get up in the morning and the first shot is always a sip of coffee, and I just sort of have a cup of coffee and talk about stuff that's on my mind. And usually it's stuff to do with the guitar community, you know, thinking about, you know, and a lot of times it's driven by comments in the comments section. It's my way of replying to the comments without replying to the comments.
Okay.
Something that I'm trying to move away from is actually replying in the comments because it's never really productive and it makes more enemies than friends. So what I want to do is sort of move away from that and like take things on broader, more editorial things on this second channel and just be like, this has come up in the comments lately. Let's have a conversation about it. But now you can hear me, you can see me. And if you're mad at me, I understand, but I'm doing my best to share my thoughts with you that may not have a place on the other channel. Man, it has blown up. It has done, people love it. It's been so fun. And I'm like, and to me, the reason we sell 300 pickups a month is not because of our videos. It's because of the community that has sprung up from it. So having these productive conversations and like hanging out and kind of just hanging out together sort of as much as you can online is what sells pickups for us. It's not, you know, because our videos are awesome. I think it's the community, you know? And so that's why I think I just want to continue that, like building the community and making friends. Last month, or actually it was in July, I think we did I do a lot of work with Texas Toast Guitars out of Denver, Colorado.
Oh yeah.
And
Yeah.
So they actually build a model that's exclusive to me, and we're the only ones that sell it. It's pretty neat. Well, he did like a trade show, but it was basically like the Texas Toast Guitars. We kind of joke about it. It was the Texas Toast Guitars and Dylan Talks Tone show with a bunch of other vendors there. But we sort of were the main sponsors and put it on. And in amongst that was this guitar contest where there was 48 people or something that built Telecasters. And that person, everybody had to pay $100 and they won all the money. So somebody won like $4,800 by making the coolest Telecaster.
Nice.
And at that show, I was standing there and I told Matt, I'm like, look at this, man. This is like people from all over the world. I mean, Europe, Canada, Scandinavia, South America, all over the world came to this thing to hang out with us and talk about guitars. It wasn't a NAMM show. It was just come and hang out. And I'm like, community is the thing, man. Like the thing you're doing this weekend, just to go see a bunch of people, like community is the most important thing to me. And so it's a long way of answering your question, but I think that's more important than anything. And so making the videos surrounding what the community wants to just chat about every day is driving me to love doing it. I love it.
Yeah.
I absolutely love it.
Yeah. That makes sense. Yes, it's like it's something that like sometimes I feel because I say it so often, especially on the intros and outros. I hope people don't think I'm just saying it to say it, but like when I'm like, thank you, like thank you guys for letting me do this, because if it wasn't for you giving me the attention, I wouldn't be able to. And I'm glad that like I'm making stuff that people seem to like, and I do my best to do that, and I do my best to do it consistently. But at this point, you know, I've been doing it just slightly less time than you. I'm like, I've never had any job for, I think prior to this, my longest job that I had was like 7 years. Like,
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I've never wanted to do anything that long. I would get burnt out or bored or want to do something else, you know, pretty quickly, but not this. I love doing this, and it's only possible because of the people who spend the time every week. And so I'm constantly saying thank you on Instagram, in my stories, on the intros and outros of the show, because I mean it. Like, I'm serious. Yeah. If it wasn't for these people, I wouldn't get to do all this stuff. And I'm getting stretched a little bit to the point where I can't do as much. I used to try, like, maybe I should do an event. Maybe I should do this. And I'm like kind of to the point where I realize that's not probably in the cards for me. But the fact, like, why I'm going to the Fretboard Summit this weekend is not just because Jason's awesome and I hear this event's awesome. Yes, that is part of it. But a big part of it is because the Stringjoy team would go, and then they would come back and they'd be like, everyone was wondering where you were. I'm like,
Yeah.
people care. Nobody cares where I am. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
But apparently that's my people. That's why I'm going. And so it's the community is like, that's the reason we get to do this stuff, because we're not, you know, some creators get to a point where it's less about the smaller community and more about chasing numbers. You know, Rick Beato, his business, I'm not hating at all. His business is based around numbers. Like, because if he was to try to do some of that stuff, it would be borderline unmanageable. You know, it would be it's just because he's at a point where he's at, right? But for us and people who are kind of more niche, so to speak, like, it's so important, and it couldn't be more important.
Yeah, one of the things Leslie and I will look at every once in a while, you know, we'll kind of try to keep track of the comment section or something over a live stream. And every once in a while, we'll sort of do a scroll and be like, look how many of these people we've actually met in person over the last 10 years.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, okay, so we have like 130,000 subscribers or whatever. That's a large city. But there's a huge number of those that we've actually met in person, and some that we have made lifelong friends with. And my goal is to do that with as many people as possible for as long as I can sustain that. Like, I want to meet as many people, you know, and have an actual relationship with those people. One of the things that I always, from my previous business when I was in the power sports industry, we were designing dirt bike parts, and that's what I used to do before, and until I got hurt. And I learned that the concept that drove me, and I think one of the things people say, well, you know, are you sincere or are you just trying to get affiliate dollars? Because in a world of reviews and affiliate dollars and that kind of stuff, people question that. But I make pickups for a living, and so yes, I have to sell a product to. I am not necessarily a creator for the sake of being a creator. I'm promoting a business. I make a product. Mm-hmm. But behind that motivation, and you probably feel the same in some sense, is that my concept is that most people have a job. They sit in an office. You know, I just think of a guy named, I don't know, Bob, who is selling insurance on a Wednesday, and, you know, had something stressful happen. And so he pulls up his YouTube and watches one of your, you know, listens to your podcast or watches one of my videos or some other creator. And my job is that guy doesn't have very much money to spend on his guitar. He doesn't have very much time to spend with his guitar. But my job is to make sure that time and that money is so he can get the most enjoyment out of that little time and money that he has. That's my job. I want to make sure that Kevin on a Tuesday who's having a stressful day can go home and enjoy his guitar a little more, right? Like that's what drives me to do it. That's what makes me want to do it. Yes, I have to make a living, and that will come if that part works. And so the motivation to do it is just like, I just want to see you smile. I want to see you slam an E chord and grin. That's what I want.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's it.
Yeah, I just like want to enable people to have as much fun making music as possible because it's done so much for me and still does so much for me. And I'm like, I want more people to experience that. I want more people to enjoy the process and enjoy what they're, this is a special thing and it's a weird thing and not everybody gets it. And what I've found too, and you probably find this a lot, I know you do, that I just didn't think about it when I got started. I thought I'm starting a guitar podcast because there's not a guitar interview podcast that was currently going at the time. Now there's a bunch, but there wasn't at the time one that was consistent and going. And I'm like, well, I think I could do that. I'll do it. And that's about as far as it extended. I was like, maybe I can turn it into a job somehow, but I'm going to start with, I'm going to make the content that I wish was there. And then it evolved into, for a lot of people, and I was fortunate that this wasn't the case because I have several friends locally that play guitar and like music. And so I get to talk to them about that stuff and get to play music with them and whatever. That was awesome. But I realized how many people don't have that. They're the only guitar player within 100 miles sometimes. That might sound crazy because it seems like there's so many guitarists when you go on the internet. But a lot of people are isolated and they don't have a quote unquote like guitar buddy. And so their podcaster or YouTuber of choice or multiples becomes that. And that was not what I was expecting. I was not thinking about that at all.
Yeah. And what's crazy too is we have a bunch of lifelong friends that have become friends in our comment sections. Like, have met each other. Oh, wait, you're from a town 2 towns over from me. Oh, you're from, or driven halfway across the country and met each other. And like, they've become friends. Like, and you're like, that happened in the comment section of this video or the chat of that live stream. And like, that is so cool, man. Like, that's so cool.
Oh, it's great. Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah. And this is just like kind of peeling back the curtain. Like, I like to talk about business stuff and I like to talk about, guitars and pedals and stuff themselves. But I think this is the side that a lot of people maybe don't, because I didn't think about it. They don't think about it or they miss, it's, but it's like I don't know if unspoken is the right term, but it's like the secret driver of it all, really. So,
yeah. Well, and to be honest with you, I needed this conversation today. I just did a series of videos on a very inexpensive guitar that will remain unnamed, but its initials are Harley Benton. And people really, really, really on the internet really, really hate me right now because I cut one in half. And and so and I genuinely did it because I wanted to know what it was made of, and I found out, and but in my curiosity, finding the negativity on the internet, it's been a stressful week, and so to honestly have a conversation with you and reset and be like, oh my God, this is so fun.
Yeah.
This is so fun.
So I'm curious, and I've talked about this. I actually had a whole podcast several years ago with a guy who literally studied like smashing guitars and wrote a paper on it for college.
I remember that podcast.
Yeah, it was really fun conversation. Go look it up, everybody. I get it. It's one of those things. Like, I understand the visceral, like, don't break a guitar. Like, it's a special thing. We love these things. Don't damage them. I kind of have the same thing when I see a cool muscle car getting smashed in Hollywood movie or something.
Right.
You know, I'm like,
Yeah.
no,
Yeah.
don't do it. There's only so many of those. But the thing is about the muscle cars, there really are only so many of those. But guitars are interesting. They've like this visceral reaction. I smashed a garage sale, like, classical guitar that was a bad guitar. It needed to not exist anymore. I got it for free. Whoever gave it to me didn't want it, and it was unplayable and unfixable. Some people don't like when I say that because anything can be fixed. Yes, sure. But how much time do you want to spend on this thing it was never made to be a quality instrument. It was made to throw away at some point, and I don't like to live in a world where that's the case, but the reality is that's how it is with certain things. And so this thing was better off being destroyed, and I was like, I'm going to smash it. I'm just going to smash it in my driveway and post it because this thing is a pile of garbage, and I'm tired of having it in my house. And people, you should have gave it to a kid. That kid would be better off not playing that guitar. Like, it's not a good one.
Isn't that that's the one? Everybody says give it to a kid, and you're like, but I'm trying to get the guy to like playing guitar, not hate his fingers after 5 minutes. Yeah. You know what's funny is on my second channel, after I did that was one of my videos was like, what is, and I, again, you're right. I understand. I have guitars that I never want anything to happen to, like, because this is my grandfather's, and like you have one like that too. Like that's your prized possession almost as far as guitars because of the memories around it. And I get that. But when a guitar is not, one of the things we talk about on our channel all the time is there's a really good guitar, and then there is a guitar-shaped thing that you can buy, right? And sometimes that guitar-shaped thing does not function effectively as a guitar. So at what point is it not a guitar anymore? And it's just a guitar-shaped thing that is just some wood and some wire. And that's what this guitar was. I bought it, and the moisture content in it was so high that the neck moved like every day. You couldn't set anything. Yeah, I measured it with one of those pokey things. It was 18%. So I called my buddy who, and people don't believe me that this guy exists, but he does. His name is Mike. He basically, like right now, he's in Nashville working with Gibson. He is who Martin and Gibson and PRS and Fender buy wood from him. So he's like a wood guy. He goes to a country, talks to those people about how to cut the trees down. He sets up a mill, the whole deal, right? And I'm like, so what are we looking at here? And he's like, it's crazy. He's like, I said, what if I was 5 or 8% off? And he's like, still, no, it needs to be like 6%.
Jeez.
And he said, yeah. And he said, and nitrocellulose has to be in a particular range before nitrocellulose will stick to it. And he's like, and then, or bubble or, fish eye and all this kind of stuff. And he was giving me all these numbers. And he's like, no, that's real. He's like, and he said the guitar might eventually dry out, but it will have moved so much that you just don't know what you're going to end up with by the time
it might be fine. It might be trash.
Yeah. And so what I did was once I knew that the thing was super unstable, I cut the guitar in half. I cut the peg head off of it, and I cut the lower bout off, and I checked it internally to the guitar. The guitar was so wet that when I cut it, you know how wet wood like smears with a saw blade instead of cuts?
Yep.
It's what it did. That's what it did. And it was Meranti wood. And he goes, you know what Meranti wood is, right? And I'm like, I have no idea. He said Meranti wood is what, it's basically what like the cores of like closet doors are made out of.
Okay.
And he said,
yeah,
it's basically like in other parts of the country or world, they use it for the core wood for plywood. So it's very low quality, but to get a guitar at, a $299 guitar has to cost about $75 to $85 to manufacture. So you have to figure that body blank is probably $15, $18.
When she said I don't dance now, I make money moves, that was a mission statement for a whole new generation.
Respect, but that's not the Mount Rushmore. Listen, cash rules everything around me. When that line dropped, it changed the whole hustle. The greatest tracks are never finished. They're just debated forever. Introducing the Sprite Living Track List. 50 tracks that shape the culture from 6 decades of hip-hop. Scan the QR code on a Sprite or Sprite Zero Sugar to see the full breakdown. Obey your thirst. Sprite.
The perfect lunch combo. That first bite of your favorite sub, followed by ice-cold Pepsi. Add a couple of friends, and now that's next level. Suddenly, the laughs get louder, the stories keep flowing, and the food tastes better. Because Pepsi brings out more flavor, more fun, and more of the moment. Food deserves Pepsi. Grab a Pepsi Zero Sugar today.
You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
it's crazy. So anyway, that was the guitar. So I cut it apart. I did all these tests and whatever, and man, the internet went nuts.
Well, it's also like, I don't mean to like generalize a whole population of people, but generally speaking, the Harley Benton fans, I guess. I think some of them maybe go a little further than just a fan, but the Harley Benton acolytes can be really, really like over the top. I think,
Yeah.
and I think, and you can replace Harley Benton with any of the
Yes.
brands that are cheap.
Yes.
That occasionally, I'm making it sound worse than it is. That produce enough volume of instruments that some of them are going to be all right. Some of them might even be excellent.
Yeah.
Because they produce so many of them, like, you're going to make good ones sometimes. And people end up with them.
And actually, if it was stable, it was actually decent because the fretwork was actually really good. It actually played really well when it played well, but you just picked it up random days and it didn't. But when it played well, it played well. So the video that's coming out today, the world is going to hate me again because I have a / November burst Les Paul and I put the Harley Benton pickups in it.
I'm very curious about that.
that video, and I did an A/B test with it, and that video comes out at 4:00 Eastern time today. So that's gonna be fun.
By the time listeners hear it, it will already be out. Go find it.
Yeah.
That one's probably going to make less people mad though, because that's totally reversible. Like cutting it in half, it's done. But you can always swap those back in. It's so funny. I mean, I get it. I see things that I get outraged about too, and I probably get outraged about dumb things that if I was to comment on that channel, they'd be like, "Who's this guy? What is he complaining about?" Like, and I'd be featured in their comment video at some point, but. That, I guess, is the difference. I really try hard. This is what I tell a lot of my friends and family who are not making content or don't like know this at all. They just watch it, which is most people.
Right.
I'm like, if you really, really hate a piece of content, if you really don't like something, the worst thing you can do to that creator or that artist is ignore it. You scroll on by.
You take this finger and you just go. Sweep.
Yep.
And your whole world can change.
And you don't have to see it anymore. And it hurts them more than anything. Conversely,
right.
if you really like somebody, watch their stuff, engage with their stuff. Do but the worst thing you can do is just scroll on by. If you leave a nasty comment, you're helping.
That's exactly right. That's exactly right.
I'm not saying don't exercise your free speech rights. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying if you truly want to ding a content creator or anybody producing anything for the internet, just scroll on by. And then that'll be the worst thing you can do to them.
I really try to have faith that, trolls, there's going to be trolls for trolls' sake, but I really do try to have faith that if you met me in person, because I have met some of these guys in person, that are actually pretty cool. And so I always try to feel like, and I've seen it turn. I've seen a well-placed response to something like that say, okay, I get it, and I make a friend. So I hope that happens a lot. I know it doesn't happen a lot, but because I know that the way we handle content sometimes is, I think part of the problem with what I do is we do not take a lot of affiliate dollars. We do not take, we have obviously Sweetwater and Musician's Friend and Guitar Center and stuff, but a lot of those like specific brands, for example, like the ones that we were thinking about and talking about just now, I don't have any of that stuff, and I refuse to do it because I don't want that. I don't want to be driven to say something that's untrue, like, or that's, again, it goes back to giving somebody actual value.
Right.
I just bought, it's over here somewhere. I just bought one of those, an ESP LTD for $400. Mm-hmm. It is amazing.
Nice.
It's so good. It's so good. It's a bolt-on neck, but it's roasted maple.
Oh, yeah.
And the frets are beautiful. And the guitar is nice. It's probably going to, so we're, but that's the thing. I want to be the positive in it and be like, look what you can get with a warranty and free returns and,
And a real company. I mean, not that Harley Benton isn't. Harley Benton's backed by one of the biggest, biggest retailers in the world. But some of these cheap brands have no backing. And I don't mean like financial backing. I mean, if you have a problem with it, good luck getting it fixed is what I mean.
Yeah. And the thing for me, because people will be like, well, the Harley Benton will just send you another one and you get to keep both of them. Like, yeah, well, I still have a log of a guitar that's useless. And what I'm trying to look at with this is who buys these guitars. Now, I know I totally respect the modders who are like, yeah, I'll mess with it and I'll fix the little problems. And that's pretty cool because people like to mod stuff.
That's cool. Yeah.
But that's awesome. I mean, that's how I make a living. So yeah, bring it, But the argument that I get most of the time when I bring up some sort of premium instrument is, but what about the beginners? But those guitars that need that work aren't for beginners. And so I'm trying to find $300 and $400 and $500 guitars that you could actually, there's a difference between a guitar that I could put up with and enjoy versus a guitar that's recommendable.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Like, I always use this as an example. I love Land Rover, Range Rovers, and Discoveries. I've had like 4 of them. Would I recommend it to one of my friends? No, not at all. Because you have to know how to change a head gasket on a Saturday afternoon. Like there's things you have to know. I enjoy them personally, but I would not recommend them. If my best friend comes over who doesn't play guitar and says, hey, I have $500, what should I buy? It's going to be a Classic Vibe Telly, because that I can confidently put them into that and not worry that they're going to get a guitar that's half working or whatever,
Yeah.
So there's recommendable versus cool things that you personally like. And in my position on my channel, I don't want to recommend stuff that I can't recommend. Like, would I give it to my kid or would I recommend it to my friend? If not, then no.
Right. Yeah. No, that is a great example because like for a lot of people who, I mean, I'm a big car guy. So like, I know exactly what you're talking about with the Land Rover stuff. Like, I think they look cool. I think they have amazing capability. I understand why people buy them, but I've seen people buy them who should not buy them. And it's a nightmare. Like it turns into a nightmare because unfortunately, as cool as they are, they're just not the most reliable vehicles. They're just not. It's just what it is.
Yeah. I'm a Euro guy. Well, I used to be a muscle car person for years and years and years. Pontiacs, mostly GTOs and stuff. And now I'm a Euro guy. I've been driving Audis for the last 8 years. And even that, I mean, I have an Audi Q7 that's super rad, but I wouldn't recommend it to just anybody because, brakes are $2,500. So, it's like, there you have to know stuff. And so how do you recommend something? I don't know. That's just kind of one of the concepts that I have to keep in mind when I'm looking at this stuff.
Well, yeah, and muscle cars are like totally I mean, I've realized like I like all cars.
You have a Camaro or something, don't you?
Yeah, I've got a 69 Camaro. That's my baby.
Yeah.
And would I recommend that car to most people? No. It's got it's got a cam in it that's so big it's right on the edge of the stall converter. So if it's not 160 degrees and fully warmed up, it will die while you're backing out of the driveway. Do you want to wait 15, 20 minutes every time you got to go somewhere? If so, I've got the car for you. But if not, this is not it, you know?
Yeah.
So it's a great car. It's actually pretty reliable for an old car, but it took a long time for me to get it to that point. Like, and I had to do it. Like, I don't recommend it to most people, but that's why I drive a Toyota Corolla every day, because I don't have to think about any of that stuff. I jump in it and go, and it's cheap and it does the thing. And I wish I was driving my Camaro every time I'm driving it, but it gets me from point A to point B.
Yeah, and I recommend, because I collect pocket knives, and so people are always asking me what pocket knife should I buy, and I'm like, well, I mean, I have this, but you don't want this. This is too much money, and whatever. Here's this other thing for $75. Or whatever it is. It's and I think another thing is people would assume, because I have a bunch of premium guitars here on the wall, and my favorite guitar is. Well, that's my custom shop Gibson right there behind me. I love that thing. So they assume that I'm going to be a snob about it and not recommend inexpensive instruments. But honestly, that is the most recommendable for most people.
Yeah.
Is a classic vibe telly, for example. Or, an Epiphone. Man, I just reviewed the Epiphone Futura.
Oh, that looks
probably
cool.
It's one of the best Epiphones I've ever played. It's excellent.
Nice.
And so... Yeah, most of the time that inexpensive stuff for the majority of people is probably the most recommendable.
I can tell you right now what my most recommended amplifier is, because I get asked this all the time. And yes, I love Bensons. I love satellites. You can see all the boutique-y stuff that I really enjoy, and that's what I recommend to people like me.
Right. Exactly.
But to the people who are just getting started, it's the Boss Katana every time.
Oh, duh.
Yeah. Get a Boss Katana.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And I tell them the same thing. I'm like, there's a wide range of them. You pick the one that does all the stuff you need it to do, and you can just go from there. It can be loud enough to keep up with the band. It can be a headphone version. And then if you don't know what kind of sound you like, that's a great way to find it. And then if you find, I really love high gain metal tones, what's this based on? This is based on a 5150. Then you can get that later. But if you have no idea what you even like, Boss Katana every time. That's what I recommend to everybody who asks, pretty much.
And use case is a thing too, right? Like I think about use case a lot, or philosophy of use. What are you going to be using it for? Because a lot of us, I mean, me and you would probably be like, all right, well, I would like, a 59 Plexi and a 412 and whatever, but I can't play that at my house. You know what I mean? Like that would piss the neighbors off. So I can't do that. So, so honestly, everything I own is digital now because use case, I have to have it. I've got a Kemper and I've got a Fender Tone Master, Princeton, and I've got a Blackstar IDX 50 on the kind of less expensive side. And then I have everything Tonex because we have a good relationship with Tonex. And I have everything Positive Grid because we have a good relationship with Positive Grid. 90% of the time, if somebody wants a practice amp, I'm telling them Positive Grid Mini.
Yeah, those are great.
Because it's awesome.
Yeah.
I take it that's what I take with me in the Sprinter van when we go on trips. Even if I don't take a guitar, in case I run into a guitar, I have a Positive Grid Mini and a guitar cable.
People know exactly what we mean. You do run into guitars when you're a guitarist because you're looking for them. Yes,
exactly. Yep. And if I'm on the road, I can USB that straight to my laptop and produce a video if I want.
Oh, nice.
So, yeah. That's also very helpful when you can just USB straight to your, GarageBand or whatever and do a video on the fly.
100%. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, and that stuff's amazing now. I've cut demos in hotel rooms. I never thought I would be able to do that before. Like, I don't want to do that again, but I did. So,
yep.
Yeah.
No, it's fun.
It is. Well, dude, we're getting close to the end of the main episode, and we got to slide over to Patreon. I want to talk to you about some of our other mutual hobbies that we have. We have a lot of them, as it turns out.
You know what we didn't get into?
What?
Real quick, before you get there?
Yeah.
Is this for the Patreon thing? The whole thing that prompted this is the Afro Man story.
You know what? I kind of totally forgot about that. You got time to tell that story?
Yeah.
Let's
you
do
want
it.
me to tell you that story, or do you want me to tell it?
Let's do it publicly. I got other stuff for Patreon.
Okay.
Yeah. Let's get into the Afro. I'm glad you reminded me. My brain has been all over the place. That is what prompted this whole conversation. What's the Afro Man story?
So 10 years ago, this was literally that day it came up in my 10 years thing on my last week on my Facebook. There's this little it's a little cowboy club on the south side of town, bad part of town. I never go there. Okay. I don't like going over there. It's just not a place that I frequent. This is back when I was playing really in the music scene, doing lots of sound checks, meeting lots of people, like kind of when I was kind of starting this stuff up. And so you're really, playing with a lot of people. And I was in a couple of different bands and doing all kind of stuff. And I was playing Fuchs amps at that time. And I had this Babinga and Curly Maple V that I was playing. And one of my buddies called me and he's like, hey, I have an artist coming to town. He's like a promoter guy. I've got an artist coming to town, and for a couple of songs, they need a guitar and an amp. Can I rent something from you for the night? And I'm like, well, the only stuff I've got's really expensive. I would have to be there. I don't want to just rent. I don't want to let you borrow it.
Right.
So I'll come, and yes, you can rent it from me, but I want to be there. And he's like, okay, well, it's at this place. And I'm like, oh my God, this is like some kind of cowboy. And I really hate to bring how do I say this without sounding, okay. Let's just say that you have a rapper and a cowboy club, and you just don't think that these two audiences, communities, cultures would at all mesh.
Okay, I got you.
It was weird. And so we get there, and I didn't even know who it was. We get there, and it's Afro Man. And all he wanted to do was that ning, 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 ning on, and I get high.
Yes. Yep.
Just that little riff. That's all he wanted to do. That was.
Yep.
Yep. That was it. He just wanted to play that one song with that little riff, and that was it. And so I had to wait around. Of course, that's the last song of the night because that, of course, is the encore because that's his only real song at that point. And so, you know what I mean? And so...
Yeah, more later. But at that point, that was his hit. Yeah.
Dude, I was so uncomfortable all night because I'm like, am I going to get beat up? Or am I going to... Because I'm sorry. I'm too skater and I'm too preppy to be in this place. And I'm like... And I have like $5,000 worth of equipment with me. And I'm like, this is the scary... Leslie will tell you to this day, it was one of the craziest, scariest things I've ever done in a weird neighborhood and a weird crowd. But Afro Man was really cool. And he was really cool. And he was really sweaty. And my guitar was really gross. But that's the Afro Man story. He borrowed my guitar to play 3 riffs on the choruses of one song. Yeah. So there you go. There's my Afro Man story.
And if you want more Afro Man story, Google what he's been up to lately, because it's been a wild ride. If you ever thought you'd hear the words Afro Man outside of the context of the song Because I Got High, there's a lot there within the last year or so.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Good stuff. Good Afro Man story. All right, man. Well, before we slide over to Patreon, you got the chance to plug anything you want to plug? Shout out anybody you want to shout out? The floor is yours.
Yeah. I mean, just come check out Dylan Talks Tone if you don't mind, and DylanTalksTone.com. we make pickups. That's my real job. And I'm really proud of what we're doing. Brianna works for me full time. And I really think that we're going to create a legacy with her. I hope she gets it someday. Like we're really doing some neat stuff. So come check it out and come hang out on some of the live streams and stuff. And just, yeah. You know where to find us. I would love to have you around. That'd be awesome.
Go check it out, everybody. Go check it out. Go watch him cut a guitar in half. It's cool. Go do it. All right, everybody. For Dylan, this is Blake. And as always, folks, good luck and good tones. All righty, folks. There you have it. If you need more content, you know where to go. You go to Patreon, where for just $5 a month, you can get extra episodes beamed directly to your brain. Oh, yeah, that's the spot. And it really helps out immensely. Really, truly, truly, truly. And if you need even more of my blabbering, you can check out Tape Spaghetti. Tape Spaghetti is the show I do with my buddy Scott Marquardt, who I just spent 5-6 days with in Chicago. And that's where I recorded this noise you're hearing underneath this whole intro. Because, I don't know, I like to mix it up. I like to change things up. I don't want it to always be the same, even though it kind of is. Maybe I should change it up more. A few weeks ago, I did like an acoustic guitar thing, and people seemed to like that. Let me know. And you can let me know by texting me. If you look in the description of this podcast, you will see a number that you can text. Now, that is like a text marketing service, but I do not use it like a typical text marketing service. I use it to talk directly to you, my dear listeners, and it really means a lot when people join up over there. It's been a thing we've been doing for several years, and I promise it is not what you think it is. It's not like, hey, get a deal on this t-shirt, blah, blah, blah. I'm actually woefully bad at providing merch for this podcast. I should do better about that. It's a conversation. If you want to get a hold of me, that is a great place to do it. I do send out the occasional blast to everybody, sometimes just checking in, sometimes about the podcast, sometimes it might not, I don't know, I just kind of do it randomly. But if you would like to experience that and get involved in that side, it's great. And it is me every time. It's not an automated robot. It is always me and my two thumbs. And I reply to those as quickly as I can. It's not always as quick as I'd like, but it is as quickly as I can. And that number is down in the chat. It's been going for a few years. So anyway, I guess I should go to bed. My brain is scrambled. I literally just got home. Okay. All right, folks. Talk to you on the internet very soon. Bye-bye.